Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And this is what I was doing today. It took a little thinking, a little thought, but it came all down to my favorite saying, or one of my favorite sayings. Work with what you've got, not with what you wish you had. So, with that in mind, this was my idea. I'm going to put up this wooden wall here, but not solid wood. It'll have a couple more of those 4x4s in between. And then I'll put some strips of that cement board on it with a space in between it to take up the extra length, because I got some over there and I can make enough to cover this whole area. Okay. And then I said, well, what am I worried about? I've got a lot of this heavy cloth, heavy tarp left over. And I've seen grow bags made out of something similar to that. So, why don't I start it on that wall, right down where that board is, go down and back up onto this wall, and anchor it in place in a few places, and then fill it all up with dirt. All of the soil I've got there in my trailer. And once I get that filled in, I've got another raised bed garden area. And this one will be 3 feet deep. So, down in the bottom of it, I will put in some of that leftover wire that I cut down, so the critters can't tunnel up under my garden plants and eat the roots. Because I've had that happen before in here, and remember I mentioned that this apricot tree should have flowers and buds and stuff on it by now, and it's not doing anything. Well, I came over and checked it out, and it snaps. So I gave it a little wiggle, and it looks like something has eaten all the roots off the bottom of it. So that tree may be history, and I'm going to have to pull it out. And if I do pull it out, I'm going to remove the box and just turn that into regular garden area. I'm not going to put another tree there because it's too close to that one. And this is a great tree for pears, and I've got the apple grafts and all that stuff on it now. I don't want anything to happen to that one, so I'll let it have all the room it wants, and this one won't be too close to it, because it should have a good 17 feet between fruit trees, and I only have a little less than 4 feet here, so I'm going to definitely have to take this one out. And I already scraped the bark here, and look at under the bark, it's just brown. There's no green. There's no green in the cambium layer. So this tree is pretty much dead. But before I completely sign it off, I'll start pruning it back. And then if I get down to the main trunk and I find there's still green cambium in it, I'll let it sit like it is and try to regrow some root and branches on it by itself. Yeah, it might save it. Don't know. Worth a try. But if not, if I notice that when I get it trimmed down, if it's really loose in the ground, the root ball is probably all eaten up on it. And I've had something get in there and do that before. And this whole area has that wire underneath it. But I think, because it's been quite a few years, I think it probably, under the moist soil, the wire has rotted out in a few places, and critters tunneled up from underneath and got underneath there. So there's another chore for me to get going on. And I've got Tony and Leanne coming in about 2 weeks, so I want to have everything all ready for them when they get here, so I don't have to say, I'm sorry guys, I got work to do. I'm going to have it all taken care of by the time they get here. And that's that. Oh yeah, I got it fastened back. There's no wind today. Well, it got up and it was 15 miles an hour. And then it kept going down from there. So I got that section all refastened. I got the boards back up. And the upper board here and the lower board there. And I put those extra wooden plates on there to hold it better than those little metal cleats. And when I'm cutting that stuff up to make the liner for the unit, any of the little pieces that are left over, I'll bring my heat gun in, put a little bit of, not my heat gun, my hot glue gun, put a little hot glue on a little patch and I'll stick it over those holes up there. And that'll help keep things safe in here. Because the birds, once the birds see all of the vegetables and the food going in here, to them it looks like a buffet and they want to get in here and they'll find any way they can to get in. So I've had them stuck underneath this tarp and get dead up there because they couldn't get out. I also noticed that one and the other one over there are sagging in the middle. They're too long a span. So right on this middle section, I'm going to get over there and I'm going to put a little piece of 2x4 up there to support it and fasten it into the long run this way. That should give me a little bit more support there. Because I don't want this thing collapsing on me while I'm in the middle of a growing season. That wouldn't be fun. Oh, got a lot more sprouts on the trees just in one day. Just amazing how much. And I got a lot of new little grape clusters popping out. So I will count the grape clusters on this, and I might have to prune some off as it starts growing to send energy to the other ones I leave on. So any of the grape clusters that have only a few grapes on it here and there, I'll cut those off, and the ones that are full of grapes, I'll leave those on so the energy goes to them, gives me a bigger cluster of nice plump juicy grapes with less clusters on the vine. So that's that. This is all junk that I raked up from over there. Now, I remember last year an ant mound came up right about here, and all this fine griddle or whatever it is there, looks like sand or something. I think that was all brought up by the ants. So putting a wire in there and putting the cloth in there should give me a little bit of protection. I also got to put something in that corner right there so that nothing comes in through that crack between the two, because this whole thing from the winds is leaning over that way a little bit. And that's what these supports are for, to hold it back against the wind. But I only had those cheap little cleats on there. They weren't holding anything. They just split it where the screws went through. So that one will be coming out too, and another 2x4 like this one will be going in. So that's my story. That's what I'm doing. And I want to thank you all for joining me. This is G Bear signing off. So, two cannibals were eating a clown. One of them looked at the other and said, "Does this taste funny to you?"